The purpose of this video is to go through end user training for the Quarterly Business Reviews campaign. So just to get started, you do have access to this document, which is our end user training guide. This is what I will be walking you through during the video today. We'll be talking about your dashboard widget. I'll show you how to add an individual contact to the campaign, as well as a group of contacts. And then we'll also go over all of the selections on your update form so you know how to manage this campaign moving forward. So first and foremost, you'll want to make sure that you have the Quarterly Business Review Stats widget on your dashboard. And if you need to, you can share it with other people on your team who might be doing follow-up calls or who will want to know what is happening with your QBR campaign. So let's take a look at the widget. Again, you can always click here on this little share icon, and you can add people that you would like to share the widget with and click apply. So let's start with the first stat. The first one here will show you how many people, how many contacts in your Infusionsoft account are currently active in the quarterly reviews campaign. The second stat will show you all who have a QBR scheduled within the next 30 days. That way you can be looking at preparing and getting ready for those upcoming meetings. The next two stats are actually to-dos. They will show up here. The contacts will show up on your widget if they need the phone call to schedule the QBR. This will automatically be created if they're not self-scheduling with you, so you can make those follow-up calls. The last stat on the widget will actually alert you to those contacts who have skipped 2 quarters. So you haven't met with them for that QBR in a couple of quarters, and so you'll want to make sure that you have some sort of contact with them, make sure everything's okay, and try to get that QBR scheduled. So that's your widget. Let's move on to page 2 of the end user training guide, and I'll show you how to add an individual contact to the campaign. This will be especially helpful when you're doing onboarding with a new client. You can go ahead and add them to the campaign, or if you'd like to do some testing, it's always nice to know how to just add one person or one company to the campaign. So what I'm going to do here is actually just go ahead and search for my test contact record. And then I'm going to be filling out the update form. So I'm going to click here on the internal forms icon, and I'm going to find my Quarterly Business Reviews update form. And I've got a lot of them here. You'll notice that this category is going to be fulfillment, so it won't be right up there with all of your other marketing campaigns. Go ahead and select that form and click Fill Out Form. So we actually have 2 ways to start somebody in the campaign. So there are 2 start options. The first start option would be if you'd like to start this contact in the campaign, but you want to wait a quarter. So this would be a great example of somebody who just became a client. They don't need those QBR emails right away. We'll want to wait a quarter. So what this option will do is it will actually wait those 75 days before Infusionsoft starts sending out those emails. The second option to start an individual in the campaign is to go ahead and send the emails immediately. So a lot of our members use this when they're first starting the Quarterly Business Reviews campaign, or they're deciding that they want to add somebody right now. When you make this selection, they'll actually start getting those emails. We skip that 75-day delay. So you can check either one of those boxes. I'm going to go ahead here and click to start immediately and click save. So it is as simple as that to add an individual contact to the campaign. What you'll see is that they'll be added to your widget. You'll find them as active in the campaign. So this first stat here will change once they've been added. You can always refresh that widget and give it a few minutes. If it's not showing up right away, Infusionsoft is doing some work behind the scenes in the meantime. So be a little bit patient for that. So let's go ahead and move on now to reviewing how to add a group of contacts to the campaign. So we're going to be looking here at page 3, and I'm going to show you 2 ways to add a group. The first one will be if you want to wait that 75 days. The other way will be if you want to send the emails immediately. So let's start with waiting the 75 days. So the first thing that you'll want to do is pull up your search and select the contacts that you want to add to the campaign. Some of our members have already added a group of clients to the campaign, and they would like to know how to exclude people who are already in the campaign. So I've included a little search tip here where you can exclude anyone who is currently active in the campaign. So I'll come back and show you that here in a little bit, but we've got that search tip box there for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to CRM Contacts, and I'm going to search for my customers. So I'm going to click here on my General tab and select Customer. So this will pull up all of my current customers. Okay, and then I can go ahead and select all, or if I wanted to just select specific clients to get started, I can deselect others. Those who have the check in the box will be the ones who are added to the campaign. Okay, I'm actually going to deselect all and just pick a couple of my test contact records for this demo. Okay, so once I have selected those contacts, I'm going to be applying the start tag. Now we do have 2 start tags for this campaign, so I'm going to refer to my end user training guide. So this is the start tag I'm looking for to start them quarterly. Again, this will have that delay. So this is on page 4 of your end user training guide. I like to copy and just, it's easier to find the tag when I do my search. So I'm going to come back over here and go to Actions and select Apply/Remove Tag. And then on my Mac, I'm going to do a Command F here and then go ahead and paste that tag name up here. So that way I can find it super easy here. So when we look for our start tags, I'm always checking for 4 things. You'll notice that our tag names are very lengthy. We have systems and naming conventions for our tags, but these are the 4 things that I look for whenever I'm starting someone in a campaign. I'm looking for the system category. I look at the name of the campaign, just double check it's correct. I look for the word button and the word start. So system, campaign name, button, and start. And this is the one you'll see it's quarterly. Right above it, we'll see the ones that will start those emails immediately. But in this example, I'm going to go ahead and start these contacts in the campaign quarterly. So I'm going to click on Save, and then go ahead and click Process Action. And that will start them in the campaign. You'll see them as active in the campaign on your widget, but nothing is going to happen at this time because we're waiting that quarter. So we do have a delay timer. They won't be getting any emails until after that 75-day delay. So let's talk about sending the emails immediately as well. It's a very similar process, but in this I'm also going to show you how you can exclude those who are currently active. So I'm going to come back to my end user training guide. And so I'm going to actually be searching for contacts, my customers again, that I want to start immediately in the campaign. But in this example, I'll also show you how to exclude those who are already active. So I need a couple of tags. I'm going to go ahead and grab the one to start immediately. So this is the one we'll be applying to start them right away. And now I'll go ahead back to my CRM contacts. I'll do a search. Go to my General tab. Again, select my customers. Okay, and this time, so this will pull up the entire list of my customers. If I want to exclude anyone who is active in the QBR campaign, I'm going to go back to that search tips box. This is the tag we want to exclude. Okay, so you're going to see that we're going to be looking for all contacts that don't have this tag. So after I select customer, I'll go back to the search tab. And now I'll come here to where it says tags. And instead of selecting with any of these tags, I'm going to select doesn't have any of these tags. Okay, I'm going to paste in the name of that tag. Again, this is the status tag that shows they're active in the campaign currently. Okay, so again, I'm looking for all my customers, but it's only going to show me my customers who aren't currently active. So I'll click on search, okay, and that will pull up that customer here, or that list of customers for you. I'm actually going to go back to my test contact records. And so once you have your search, now you know who you want to start in the campaign immediately. You can select all, or just, again, deselect if you don't want to be sending the emails or adding a certain individual or group to this campaign right now. And I'm going to go back to my end user training guide. Always very handy to have this here. And I need that start tag. This is the one to start them immediately. And when we copy that, we don't need to copy the category, just the bolded part here for the tag name. So back in Infusionsoft, here's my list again. I go to Actions, Apply/Remove Tags. And this time, I'll do my search. And I'm looking for this start tag. This time we're starting immediately. I've got my system category, campaign name, the word button, and start. And in this case, I want to start immediately. So I'll click save, and then to finish, process action. Now all of these contacts will be added to the campaign in very shortly. They're going to begin to receive those emails inviting them to schedule their QBR with you. Okay, so that's how you can add your contacts to the campaign. As always, if you have questions, you need assistance, please reach out to our help desk so that we can help you get your contacts added to the campaign. Now let's talk about how to manage this campaign using the update form. So within the end user training guide, just gonna scroll along here. And we've talked about the widget already, so we're going to be looking for those to-dos to appear on the widget. And then we're going to record outcomes using this update form. So this is what I'm going to be going through right now. We're going to pull up, I'll show you how to pull up this form and how to make each selection. They've all been numbered and everything is detailed here, telling you what exactly will happen when you make that selection. So we're going to look at all of these here together. And so I'm going to come to my widget, and if it's my job to make those phone calls, so to schedule the QBR, they're not scheduling, they're not emailing us or scheduling online. So I'm going to click on the number 1 that will pull up everybody that I need to make that phone call to. As I'm making those phone calls, I'll be using the update form to record the outcome. So I'll click here on internal forms and we go to this drop down. Again, I'm going to be looking for the QBR, the quarterly business reviews version 2 update form, and we'll fill out the form. So let's just go down the line here and look at each of the selections. Again, please refer to your end user training guide to follow along and have this printed out and next to you as you're making those phone calls so that you're sure about what's happening with each selection. A little bit earlier, we talked about the start buttons, but let's review. The first selection here is that we're adding them to the quarterly reviews campaign, but we're waiting. So we're going to wait that quarter. So what's going to happen, the contact is going to be placed in a 75-day timer. after those 75 days, those QBR emails will begin. So they'll begin, the contacts will begin, this contact will receive emails. If you have a booking link to have them self-schedule, they'll be able to click on that link and self-schedule with you. When the emails do begin, that first email is sent immediately. 3 days later, the second request email is sent, and then the phone call to do will show up on your widget as well. There are other emails as well, but that's just kind of what happens when they first begin. The second selection is if we, again, want to add them to quarterly business reviews, but we're going to send out those emails right now. I want that to get them scheduled right away. Now let's look at the third option here. We actually have 3 options. So when your scheduling call is complete, we have different options. Let's say that they want to skip, or you just decide you want to skip this person or this company for this quarter. Maybe they're not able to meet with you. When you make this selection, the QBR emails and any follow-up, any of those phone calls will be removed from your widget, and we're going to restart this contact in the campaign. So again, they're added back into that 75-day delay timer, but then the QBR emails will begin that next quarter. If at this point, if last quarter you indicated this, so we've indicated this 2 quarters in a row, that's when we're going to flag them, and they'll show up on your dashboard widget as skipped 2 quarters. The next selection here would be that the call is complete. You talked to someone or left a message, but nothing has been scheduled. The campaign is not going to stop for this contact. After call 1, if this is call 1, that to-do will be removed from the widget. They'll continue to get emails from you, pushing them to schedule. After 4 days, the to-do for call 2 will show up on your widget. If at any time you just feel like you need to create a task to remind yourself to follow up, you can come up here to this icon and create a task. But we do have 2 follow-up calls those to-dos will be automated for you in this campaign. The next option is if they actually scheduled their review. This is what we want them to do. If you're on the phone with them and you get it scheduled, you'll mark this selection and you'll put in the date and time of the quarterly review. A confirmation, they will stop getting any of those reminders to schedule, and they will receive a confirmation email from you immediately, and then they'll get a couple of reminder emails 2 days before and 1 day before. At this time, we'll also restart them back so that then the next quarter, they'll begin to receive the emails again. At this point, when you do indicate that the appointment is scheduled, and if it's within the next 30 days, they'll show up here on this stat for you. The next selection is if they rescheduled. So if you reschedule, you want to come back up here and put in the new appointment date and time. And then when you click save, it'll just refresh the confirmation email and the reminder emails. If they canceled, and we're going to stop those automated reminders, and so they're not getting those reminders anymore. And hopefully at some point you can get it rescheduled. Remember that when you're filling out a form to only make 1 checkbox selection at a time per form submission. So we wouldn't want to say they canceled and rescheduled at the same time, just only 1 at a time. If they canceled and you rescheduled at the same day, you don't need to say that it was canceled. Just go ahead and just mark that it was rescheduled. Now down here at the very bottom, these are some exit options for the campaign. So we have one option, we have three here, but the first one is that they are a canceled client. So this would be a client that's no longer a client with you. You want to remove them from ever receiving those reminders again. So this would be part of your offboarding processes and procedures. So you would indicate that they are canceled, stop the campaign for them. They will no longer receive any emails, reminder emails about appointments or invitation emails to schedule. The next option does the same thing. It will stop any QBRs for this contact. This option would be for someone who still is a client, but you're just not feeling like you need to do quarterly business reviews with them anymore. So these do the same thing. Either of these options, it will stop, it will remove them from the QBR campaign, will no longer send them any additional invitations, but it'll just mark the history tags a little bit differently. So you know if it's a canceled client, or you'll know that you just wanted to cancel reviews. Finally, the last option is our stop the campaign option. If you select this, the quarterly business reviews campaign will stop. There just won't be any history tags applied about why they were removed from the campaign, but you always have that option. So that's the end user training for your QBR campaign. It was one of our favorites, and our clients really love this campaign. Get some great activity generated from it. As you're going through and beginning to use this campaign, you're adding context to it, you're using this update form. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our help desk. You can email us at Infusionsoft@Technology Marketing Toolkit. We're always happy to help. Thanks, and hope to see you again on another training.